All right, ladies and gentlemen, today we're gonna talk about how to keep your partner in suspense. I made a video about this. I've actually reviewed this chapter many times before, but I just want to review it with using the art of seduction as a manual for it, using the video actually. So we're gonna listen to what they have to say, and I'm gonna give you guys my take on it. Okay, all right, let's begin this.
9. Keep them in suspense. What comes next?
This guy just sounds like he's telling you a secret you're not supposed to know about. You know, I just love the way that he talks. It's just, if there's anything about Robert Greene's book, is that not only are his books unbelievable, but the narrators he picked are even more impressive. It's just crazy.
The moment people feel they know what to expect from you, your spell on them is broken. More, you have ceded them power. The only way to lead the seduced along and keep the upper hand.
So pretty much, once somebody knows what you're gonna do, like if a guy knows you want a relationship, or if a guy knows you want money, once they find out what's in your head, the mystery is popped. That's why I preach to you guys, as much as possible, keep the mystery as much as you can. Okay, opening up and telling what you feel about somebody is not. This is not movies, man. This is people. People cannot appreciate a good thing. That's pretty much it, unfortunately.
Is to create suspense. Lead the seduced along and keep the upper hand is to create suspense, a calculated surprise. People love a mystery, and this is the key to luring them further into your web. Behave in a way that leaves them wondering, what are you up to? Doing something they don't expect from you will give them a delightful sense of spontaneity.
An example could be a positive thing or a negative thing. For example, I remember one time I was seeing this girl, and she was an escort, but we wouldn't have sex. I didn't pay her. You know what I'm saying? She just told me she was an escort because, you know, we were on a date. And I ended up liking her as a person. You know, we only hooked up once, but anyways. But I just ended up liking her as a person. You get what I'm trying to say? It's not like my dick liked her, even though she was beautiful. But it felt good to be around her. Anyway, so one time she came around, and she was just distant, physically distant. And I was like, huh. She would, rather than sit next to me, she would sit across the table. And in that whole time, I was wondering, what the fuck, dude? Like, bitch, what the fuck, man? Like, that kind of stuff made me think, am I doing something wrong? Did I turn her off, right? It kept me in suspense because I'm like, okay, like, what the fuck, right? Another thing, it could be that if you guys are close, randomly showing up to them at their job and giving them a gift. Not all the time, but from time to time doing that. What that does is that it keeps them in suspense. They don't know. Another thing, which is kind of fucked up, is canceling plans from time to time. When you cancel from time to time with a valid excuse, they don't know whether or not they're actually going to see you. It keeps them in suspense. But when you're so predictable, when you're just one way, of course the guy or the girl is not going to respect you because they know what to expect from you. Humans are backwards, man. We can't appreciate a good thing. That's just how people are, you know?
They will not be able to foresee what comes next. You are always one step ahead and in control. Give the victim a thrill with a sudden change of direction. A child is usually a willful, stubborn creature who will deliberately do the opposite of what we ask. But there is one scenario in which children will happily give up their usual willfulness.
A reward.
When they are promised a surprise. Perhaps it is a present hidden in a box.
So this is why a lot of women like making guys wait for sex. Because if they make the guy wait for sex, he doesn't know when he's going to get that pum pum. You know, he'll be like, maybe it's this date. Maybe it's the next date. Right? And she'll be like, don't worry about it, baby. Maybe you'll get it this time. And so you're keeping this guy in suspense. Because he's like, okay, I want the pum pum already, bitch. Goddamn, where's the pum pum? Right? And so this is actually a strategy that women use. You don't know when you're gonna get this poom poom, baby, right? Another strategy the guys use is the proposal. You know, you don't know when your guy's gonna propose, so you behave a lot. Actually, you know, you actually are on point. You know, you dress nice, right? Because you don't know when he's gonna propose, if he's gonna propose. Don't tell people what you're gonna do. Learn to move in silence. That's pretty much what we're trying to say here. And put some effort to being spontaneous. For example, with my friends, I do the same. With my friends were all going to Colombia a few years ago. We all went to Colombia. But I told them I'll meet them in Colombia the next day. Little did they know is that I was actually going with them that same day. So they're waiting to board the flight, right? And as soon as they think everybody got on the flight, I pop out of nowhere. I'm like, hey guys. And they're like, oh shit, what the fuck? I thought you were coming. I'm like, I'm here, guys. Right? You learn to be more spontaneous. You know? Or another example could be where my friends that went to California. I told them I'm not going to go because I'm a little busy. And I knew exactly where they were. I asked my friend, yo, where you guys watching the game at? And he was like, we're at this bar. And I was like, oh, wow. He didn't know I was there. I was like, oh, for real? Took an Uber to that bar. And I just like, hey, what's up, guys? They're like, oh, my God, what the fuck? Dude, you just pop out of nowhere. You leave them in suspense. That kind of stuff, people love that shit. Because you're giving them an experience. Everybody loves a surprise. And that's a fact. A good surprise, not a bad one.
A game with an unforeseeable ending, a journey with an unknown hidden. When they are promised a surprise. Perhaps it is a present hidden in a box, a game with an unforeseeable ending, a journey with an unknown destination, a suspenseful story with a surprise finish. In those moments when children are waiting for a surprise, their willpower is suspended. They are in your thrall for as long as you dangle possibility before them. We get a similar thrill when we watch a movie or read a thriller. We are in the hands of a director or author who is leading us along, taking us through twists and turns. We stay in our seats. We turn the pages, happily enslaved by the suspense. It is the pleasure a woman has in being led by a confident dancer, letting go of any defensiveness she may feel and letting another person do the work.
Yeah, and it's almost like, that's why people like going to tour guides. That's why women like to date toxic guys, because toxic guys are inconsistent. Toxic guys and women keep their partners in suspense. Now, that kind of suspense is a toxic kind of suspense because it makes them doubt their self-esteem. This kind of suspense is more about pleasant surprises, not type of shit that destroys your self-esteem. But if you want to use it for that, it also works for that. But, you know, it is what it is.
Falling in love involves anticipation. We are about to head off in a new direction, enter a new life where everything will be strange. The seduced wants to be led, to be carried along like a child. If you are predictable, the charm wears off.
Mm-hmm. And this is the one thing you want to make sure you don't become is predictable. Now, if you're in a relationship with a person, obviously you're going to be a little predictable, but relative predictableness. In other words, since you're in a relationship, most people are not predictable. But if you just put some effort to be a little unpredictable, that's enough. That's enough. Because not all of us are going to be unpredictable our whole lives. But you could intentionally be unpredictable in some areas of life. Maybe one day you cancel plans on the guy. And then you show up with a nice, with a gift that he likes. Right? It could be, for example, it's kind of like, let's just say you're a dad and you're like, baby, I won't be able to come to the father and daughter meetup. Sorry about that. You're going to have to find another dad. And she's like, oh, no, my daddy. You're the only dad for me. And then you show up, you're like, hey, baby, I'm here. She's like, ah. Right? It's a horrible example. But you get what I'm trying to say? Just put some effort.
Everyday life is predictable. Not only does suddenness create a seductive jolt.
This is why sex and meeting new partners is so exciting, because when you meet a new partner, it adds to the variability of life, how different life is. You know, it becomes unpredictable. Today you're walking home, and then all of a sudden Tyrone, the personal trainer, approaches you. You like him. You didn't expect to meet a guy that you like. That's a pleasant surprise that takes you out of the mundanity of life. It makes life more exciting, right? It breaks the routine, and that's why some women like to cheat, because the cheating part is a spontaneous. It's like, hey baby, I'm free now. Let's come get this pom pom, right? And he's like, oh shit, right? It's the spontaneousness. That's why cheating is so exciting. That's why people love to cheat, because they get that thrill, that suspense.
Predictable. Not only does suddenness create a seductive jolt, it conceals manipulations. Appear somewhere unexpectedly. Say or do something sudden, and people will not have time to figure out that your move was calculated. Take them to some new place as if it only just occurred to you. Suddenly reveals some secret. Made emotionally vulnerable, they will be too bewildered to see through you.
So let's listen to this again.
Was calculated, and people will not have time to figure out that your move was calculated. Take them to some new place as if it only just occurred to you.
So it could be like, you show up at their place and you're like, let's go here. Right? You just randomly take them to a new place, right? It could be that you plan on taking them to a restaurant, and then you say, baby, we got to change your plans today. We're going to this place that you never heard before, right? This takes effort, people. That's the problem. It's not that this concept is difficult to understand. It's just that it takes effort. It takes effort. You got to keep re-seducing the person you're with. This is not something that is just easy to do. You know, like you have to consciously put work.
Suddenly reveals some secret. Made emotionally vulnerable, they will be too bewildered to see through you. Anything that happens suddenly seems natural, and anything that seems natural has a seductive charm.
Mm-hmm. So it could be like, for example, for example, like I remember there was a story in the book that talked about how one day this guy bought a certain guest to dinner. And when he bought the guest to dinner, he wanted some lemons, right? I'm giving you an example. I forgot what it was. And the guest and the host knew he was gonna need lemons. So he was like, "Oh, you need lemons? Don't worry about it. Let me go to the lemon tree over there and climb and get some lemons for you." And the person found that flattering because it was so spontaneous. But then they found out it was actually planned, and the feeling of the spontaneity went away. They felt they were manipulated. So you gotta find a way to include a little bit of that spontaneousness. For example, this is a very extreme example, but it kind of drives the point. Don't do this. Let's just say that one day somebody tries to mug you, right? It's an example, it's a crazy example, but then if you understand this concept, you just can understand it in general. And they try to mug you, and then your boyfriend, Tyrone, no, fuck Tyrone. It's obviously he's gonna protect you. Your boyfriend, Bob the librarian, steps up and he's like, "Don't mess with my girl, okay, bro?" And then the robber's like, "Oh, well, I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry," and he runs away, right? Imagine if she finds out you planned out that shit. She's gonna be like, "You fucking clown." Now, let's just say that she actually believed that it wasn't planned. And she's like, "Oh my God, Bob, you're like the no Tyrone in my life. You helped and protected me. You're getting this pom-pom tonight," right? And why is it charming? Because it was spontaneous, in the moment, random. That kind of spontaneity isn't just surprises, but it's revealing parts of your personality. It could be that you come across as a cold individual and then you open up about something that's sensitive and personal to you. You keep them in suspense. It could be that you look like the hardest motherfucker, but then you love beauty, you love flowers, you love nature. That's spontaneous. He doesn't know that about you. You don't know that about him. And all of a sudden, you see that trait in him.
Finally, you might think it wiser to present yourself as someone reliable, not given to caprice. If so, you are in fact merely timid. It takes courage and effort to mount a seduction. Reliability is fine for drawing people in, but stay reliable and you stay a bore. Dogs are reliable. A seducer is not. If, on the other hand, you prefer to improvise, imagining that any kind of planning or calculation is antithetical to the spirit of surprise, you are making a grave mistake.
Yeah, because again, it's those people that say, why do I have to do this? Why do I have to put so much effort? You motherfucker. Like, come, you're a lazy ass motherfucker, man. You are so lazy. Plan surprises, man. Oh, why do I have to do all of this? Well, you know what? If you don't want to pay the price of keeping your person interested, then that means you don't want this. It means you want the easy route. This takes effort, okay? Don't let anybody tell you this doesn't take effort. Anything good takes effort. Lazy fuck. Sorry.
Constant improvisation simply means you are lazy and thinking only about yourself. What often...
Like, imagine you go out with a guy or a girl, let's just say a guy, and he doesn't know what the fuck to go. He's like, well, let's find out when we're there. What? So you're not going to plan it out? You're not going to plan this out? You serious? You can't just take the time out and plan out a nice date? It's kind of like even with dates. People just keep it the same. Same date, same location, same food, same everything. Nothing random. Because there's no effort. They're taking their partners for granted. Like, oh, yeah, she'll still love me, right? What, you fucking idiot? No. People want to be surprised. People want to feel special. People want to feel like you put some thought into something. And whenever you give that impression that you don't have to do all of this effort, it just means you don't think they're worthy. Because I can promise you, if you love somebody, this is the truth. If you love somebody, your mind cannot help but think of things that are spontaneous. Like you want to impress them. Now, they might be making the mistake of giving you a false sense of security by constantly validating you, which then I can say that's their fault. But at the end of the day, you got to play your part too. You got to be a little bit spontaneous.
Seduces a person is the feeling that you have expended effort on their behalf.
It could be that, let's listen to this. Let's go back.
Are lazy and thinking only about yourself. What often seduces a person is the feeling that you have expended effort on their behalf. You don't need to trumpet this too loudly, but make it clear in the gifts you make, the little journeys you plan, the little teases you lure.
I remember one time I gave this girl a journal because she likes to write. I bought her a journal. I put it in a random spot at the park, and I was like, and I got a new number. I was like, hey, there's a gift for you. You don't know who I am, but there's a gift for you at this location. Here's a photo. Go get it. Anyway, she found out it was me because I, like an idiot, took a photo and my shoes were in it. I could never be a criminal. It took her a while to realize it, but then she was like, wait a minute. Your fucking shoes are there. What the fuck? That's you, nigga. And I was like, God damn it. But the point is that it didn't work out, by the way. It didn't work out. But that kind of stuff, you put some thought into it. When you like somebody, you put thought into what kind of gifts you're gonna give them if they've proven themselves to you. But again, most people just don't want to do it. A lot of the reasons why guys aren't as romantic. Let me tell you something, ladies. One of the reasons is because guys have been punished for being romantic. That's a fact, right? Guys have been punished for being romantic. A lot of women, when you're romantic with them, they get turned off. I mean, oops. I blame you guys. I'm being serious. I blame women for that. For not rewarding romantic behavior. Because unfortunately, what I've noticed in my life, the less romantic I am with the girl, the more they like me. It's not my fault, right? But anyways, put some effort with this, man. Don't apply this if you don't know the person too much. Apply this to like the second or even the third date. On the first date, keep it simple. But after a while, you want to put some thought. Okay? All right. Anyways, I'm going to be making more of these videos. If you guys want to learn more about this is part of my Robert Greene Book Club. You could purchase, you could become part of the Robert Greene Book Club on the description down below. Hopefully the guy didn't show up. You could, on the description down below. And if you guys want to get one-on-one coaching, go to mindfulattraction.org to get one-on-one coaching. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay toxic.